Welcome back to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS. It's time for Owin's Field Report, sponsored by Les Schwab Tire Centers.
All right now we're going to join Brandon Glass from Team Hookup Guide Service. He's down there in that Buoy 10 area chasing some salmon in the middle of the Lipstick Salmon Slayer tournament. Brandon, how you doing, man?
Hey, Owen, how's it going?
It's going good. How's it going for you? It looks a little lumpy.
Oh, no, it's beautiful. You guys can all see it. It's not too bad. We're over on the Washington side right now by the shipwreck.
How's the bite for you this morning?
It's actually been not too bad. It's been slow for most everybody around the area. It's anybody's been from like Buoy 10 up. But we're above the bridge, Washington side. We're working the shipwreck, so-called troll.
Yeah.
We've had, I think, 7 or 8 grabs. We only got one in the box. We just minutes ago lost one to a sea lion. It was a hatchery fish.
Oh, gosh.
Big sea lion.
I've been hearing that report a lot, that the sea lions have been a bit of a challenge this year down there.
Yes, they have. Personally for myself, that's only my second one that I've had a seal get. So, but yes, I heard some guys losing 3 and 4 in a day. So
yes, I've been told the same thing. Well, Brandon, I want to make sure to maximize our time as best I can. With the way things have been since it opened on the 1st of August, it was a really good bite in the river when they closed the ocean. I know that you know that it's opening back up on Monday, and then that bite kind of tapered off the last handful of days. Do you think that's going to change with this next tide set that's coming in?
Well, as of this morning, there is a metric tonnage of fish in the river right now. So they came in overnight on this last tide.
Oh, I love hearing that.
So this morning was, everybody that was downriver said they were marking more fish they've seen the entire season. It's not biting yet.
Interesting.
So,
why do you think that? I mean, obviously everybody down there has got unbelievable electronics these days, and they're going to be able to see them, folks. So they're not just randomly saying that there's a lot more fish in the river. You're going to get a consensus of 100 boats, all with high-end technology. So they're there. Why might they not bite? Is it a tide thing, fresh from the salt?
Hey, I'm going to show you something. There you go. See that?
Oh, yeah. The storm that's coming.
Yeah. You know what happens with storms showing up?
Put them off the bite. Okay, I got you. Now, things change.
No. That's not always a thing in the, at least in salty areas, but that could be one thing we could point at, right now, maybe affecting that a little bit. But no, it's not like everybody I talked to that's downriver said, Brandon, this is the most fish I've seen the entire season on the graph. They are not biting. So right now we're just anticipating these fish showing up here today. I hope they're going to bite on this tide change. I feel really confident about it. So the last couple of days I've done very well, not catching all my keepers, but very well upriver fishing above Tongue Point on these smaller tides. So
up to this point in the 2024 season, how would you call this up to now?
Well, you got to remember it's only with the 17th of August right now. I'd put this very average, maybe a little bit above for numbers of fish. Now, I'm not saying I'm limiting out every day because hatchery fish only, it's sometimes difficult, but I definitely say it's definitely on the average for the last several years. Now, we've had some different years where the fish showed up early, they didn't show up late. I think from what I'm hearing, I've heard of like La Push up to Vancouver Island, there is a absolute truckload of fish up there. I'm expecting those things to come down and be in our neck of the woods here this week and next week with these bigger tides.
Interesting, because I know that a lot of folks are going to be heading that way this week. This is the week that everyone's, or not everyone, but there's going to be a large amount of people that start showing up down there. What's your plan going into this upcoming week now that they've decided to open the ocean back up on Monday through Thursday? Are you going to stay in the river, or are you going to go back out to the saltwater?
Well, honestly, there's enough fish in the river. You don't have to go to the salt. The south wind is going to be picking up. I don't feel very comfortable for Tuesday. I might go make a chance out on Monday just to give me an idea of how many fish are still out there. Because right now, not having anybody out there, charter boats, guides, or anyone, even sport boats, we don't know how many fish are really right off our river mouth waiting to come in. So we're kind of like on this guessing of which tide, when they're going to show up. So it'd be nice to have people go out there, at least let us know, hey, Brandon, yeah, man, the condos are great. Up north is great. Or, oh, no, they're all south. They're ready to zip in here anytime. And, just kind of letting us know.
So it is kind of just a barometer to let you know what's happening, which might happen at a reasonable amount of time in the river itself.
Yep, 100%. That's really a big deal for us, is it lets us know, well, okay, they're up there on the 25, 28 line. Well, they're going to be another week until they show up, or nope, they're right in front of the lighthouse. Next side, here they come.
Gotcha. All right. Well, of course, we got to get to the meat of it. What is Brandon Glass doing to be successful with your clients out there? How are you fishing? I'm assuming 360s, but what are you fishing behind them? Are you doing anything different than maybe what others are doing?
Yeah, it's great. I would use this thing called the Gilnet. It catches a lot of fish. No, I'm using an array between plastic baits and spinners right now. I definitely say I'm using more spinners just because they're easier to use. The plastic bait, we just lost a fish on to the sea lion. Everything else been bit. I had a little tug earlier, and then every other rod except for 2 have had all bites on spinners. So
have you
definitely copper I'm seeing is working out. I've got some painted blades right now that aren't getting bit that I'm about to change out and put all rest of our blades to copper. So
well, one of the questions that we had come in this morning specifically for you was, how long are you running your leaders behind that 360?
And that's a great question. And that one is really unattainable to find the exact distance, because I kind of measure with my arms, and I look down, I'm like, oh, that one's 24. And I look at the one that catches all the fish. Well, that one's at 20. Okay, then I have one that's at 26. I'm not as precise as a lot of people. I just say, okay, this looks good. It's still zipping pretty good. I'm not, taking a tape measure to every single spinner. I just kind of go off my arm length.
Okay, makes sense. So you're just going by feel, which is what a lot of people do, like myself. Are you looking for, when you're, let's say you're running a spinner right now in that situation down there in the Bowie-ton area, are you trying to get a lot of action on that spinner behind the 360? Or are you just trying to let it stay dead? What are you trying to see behind that 360 as it's working?
Well, that's definitely a big key, and that's what everybody, I think, needs to realize, that we really want to see that spinner get a little zip, all right? So as that flasher rips down and kicks back up, it's going to throw a kink in that leader back there. And if you understand how this works, and you use a stiff enough leader, okay, a really heavy fluorocarbon type line, that stiffness kicks that spinner, gives a little bit more of a zip to it. It makes that fish react to that spinner better, what I've seen in the past.
Okay, makes sense. So you want to see a little action getting implemented on there, as opposed to having too long of a leader where it might not affect it at all.
Here's a pretty good one I'll kind of show off here. So this is the Terry Mulkey, the YBC one, but look at the back one. Oh, yeah.
Okay. You're not messing around, are you?
That's a pretty good one. It catches fish.
Yes, a lot of points. 100% legal, everyone. Make sure that you're aware of that.
Yeah, they're all barbless, Yeah.
2 trebles is 100% legal. And that's kind of the way to go. Yesterday, I lost my only bite with a single treble hook. I wished I would have had a mooching rig on there, just because it seems to be a little bit more, pin them a little bit more.
Well, if you're going to get 30, 40 bites in one day, probably don't use double trebles. If you're going to look for 1 or 2 bites a day, especially upriver right now, might want to use double trebles. Make sure you get that chance to get those fish. It is a pain in the butt to get them out of the net later, or release them safely. That's another thing. You got to remember, sometimes double trebles, it's a pain getting them out and getting the fish out of the net safely and releasing them without harming them. We're trying to do that as much as we can. Make sure they go back in the river and they swim off. They don't get eaten by sea lions.
Yes, and again, everyone, keep your head up if you're fighting fish down there. It has been a thing this year, much more reported than it has in the past, at least it seems. All right, well, hey, you're in the middle of a tournament right now. Are you going to win the thing or what?
So I'm not in the tournament. Our group is not. These are all dudes and not girls.
Okay.
I don't know what the pronouns are now today, but they're pretty men. I'm not. So my wife's running the whole tournament with Dell and everything. So I didn't get a group. This was a group that we already decided the year before which date we're going to go on, and I didn't know which date my wife chose for the tournament. So yeah. But there are a lot of ladies out here. I think there's 360 women signed up, and there's a lot of lipstick Salmon Slayer sweatshirts out here on the river today. So it's really cool to see.
Well, Brandon, thanks for sharing a little bit of your info. It'll help someone as they're going into this upcoming week and get some more fish in the boat, man. We appreciate your time.
Yeah, no, I went back down because I didn't know when I was going to get on the phone call. I went down below the fish, and now I'm trying to get to them. So I'm just now getting marks on the graph again. So we're going to get bit as soon as I hang up, I promise you.
It figures, of course. Well, hey, Brandon, thanks again as always, man. Be safe out there, and good luck, okay?
All right, guys, everybody, tight lines.
Thanks, Brandon. All right, we're going to cut to a break, everyone. When we cut, wait, sorry, we're not cutting to a break. We've got to go to Katie Saniga. We got a massive weather system that's coming in right now, Katie.
Doesn't look like it.
Well, you know what's crazy is coming into the studio this morning, I got rained on pretty good.
Yeah. I got lots of reports because we actually had kind of, I'm calling it the amuse-bouche of what's coming our way. Like the pre-appetizer is what that means. This is what we were expecting this morning, is that it's going to be sunny, you're going to see things calm, and then the bulk of what we are predicting and what we're talking about for the first alert weather day is later this afternoon. Here's what I was talking about. Do you see these, all these lightning strikes coming up on the west side of the the I-5 corridor and going along the coast there? That is what we're watching and paying attention to right now. We have quite a bit more activity later this afternoon. Look at all of this that's moving through just at different times, and we had at one point 88 strikes at once, and that's what we're seeing right there. But as far as a total amount of strikes, I haven't got that for you yet. Here's that information about today being a first alert weather day. We're expecting the bulk of the activity to the south between 2 and 4, and then to the north 4 and 6. Expected downpours, gusty winds, power outages, and even hail for this. It should be done by the time we get to the end of the night tonight. You'll see here, this is one of our highest resolution models. This is right around 5 o'clock. You can see that moving through the Portland Metro, go into the evening, a few remaining showers, and then by the time we're into the early hours of tomorrow, we see things clear up. Models are disagreeing on how much. Some are only showing maybe 3/10 of an inch. Some are showing up to an inch. So depending on how things go, we're definitely going to see our first rain for the month. It's not the only rain we could see, though, as we get toward the end of the week. There's a few more showers on Thursday with temperatures in the upper 70s. But a bulk of the activity, that's today.
Good thing, but we could do without the lightning, for crying out loud.
I know, that's the thing. I mean, I love lightning, but I don't like that it starts fires, and with being still so dry and we haven't had any rain in so long, that's really like the flash flood warnings. You know, if you have time for this, basically when you haven't had rain in a long time and your ground is really rock hard, if you just pour a bunch of water on it, it just runs off. You need to have that slow saturation to get the ground to be able to absorb it. So we have flash flood warnings out there for today as well.
Very good point. Thank you very much, Katie. We appreciate it. All right, everyone, we're going to cut to a break. When we come back, I've got Ken Vellante from Coldwater Strong here in the studio. We're going to talk about how you can implement one of these edge plunking rods with 3 spinning glows, with 3 wobblers. We'll be right back.
Outdoor GPS is brought to you by P-Line, because we fish, by Hawken Fishing, perfection in fishing gear, and by Haxton's Canvas and Upholstery, the trusted name of the Pacific Northwest.